Well, I think when you go back to April when I came in, I think probably the thing I'm most pleased with when you look at over the last 6 months is their willingness to do the things that myself and our coaching staff have asked of them. I think we've got a great group of young men that have a desire to really come together as a team and embrace the things that we're telling them that we need to do to build our program. So I'd say overall I've been pleased up to this point.
Is there anybody that's just kind of shown you a lot, maybe more than you expected?
No, I would think I couldn't single anyone out individually, but I think as a team, they've made a tremendous commitment. And the thing I ask of our guys every day is to give a great effort, to be committed to the things that we need to be committed to in terms of getting better, becoming a team that can rely on each other. And I think everything else will take care of itself. So it's a process, and I think every day we're getting better trying to do those things.
Coach, I know you, in the process, you did a lot of homework about Alabama and other things. Has there still been anything about the schools, the SEC, that has been a bit of a surprise to you, or that you had to adjust?
I wouldn't say a surprise, but I do think I learn more every day. I think just in terms of our university, our city, just our team, and obviously I spent 10 years in the SEC, but it's changed a lot since the last time I was a member of the University of Florida staff. So I think with every day you try to learn something, and I'm excited about being in the league again and obviously having a chance to lead the University of Alabama. And I think when you look at the quality of players and coaches in this league, it's certainly a great opportunity to be in my opinion, one of the premier leagues in the country.
Coach, you mentioned Florida, and you knew how football crazy it was down there. Is it a different animal here compared to Florida?
When you look at the SEC in general, the strength of this league from a football standpoint, I think everybody would say the top football league in the country. I think it's an animal that on every college campus is huge. And then when you magnify that with the history of the University of Alabama, 12 national championships, where Coach Saban has our program right now, I think it's extremely impressive. But I look at it in terms of it's a great opportunity for every sport on our campus to have that opportunity to compete for championships. And I think if you talk to Nick Saban, if you talk to Wendell Hudson or any coach on our campus, they'll tell you that it helps everybody when any program has a level of success. And I see no reason why we can't compete for championships in every sport that we play in. And that's the vision I think that our athletic department has, certainly that I have, and I know Coach Saban would echo those comments, and I think every coach on our campus would.
I know Billy Donovan used to say, agree with you in terms of what he was dealing with in Florida. What's the biggest thing you take from Billy as a head coach that you learned from him?
Well, there's probably several things. I was with Coach Donovan for 12 years, 2 at Marshall and 10 at the University of Florida, and I think anybody that knows Billy would say his passion, his level of focus for what he's doing, and just his commitment to trying to be the best at what he does. And I was fortunate to be able to experience a lot of great things on and off the floor during my time with him, and we'll always cherish those memories.
Can you speak on the level of the coaches in this conference? It seems like there's some really big, high-profile coaches in this conference now, with the addition of yourself and John Calipari and everybody else who's in it, with Billy Donovan, Trent Johnson, everybody.
Well, I think the SEC has always had great coaching. When I was an assistant at the University of Florida, you look at the success that the league had, the league enjoyed with the coaches that were in the league, the players that were in the league. I think it's always been a very strong league. And obviously, right now you look at the experience in terms of the coaching in our league, and obviously what Coach Calipari brings in terms of the excitement about what he'll bring to the University of Kentucky. Mark Fox played against his teams at Nevada. I know what a quality coach and a quality person he is. So, I think it's from top to bottom when you look at the caliber of coaching throughout the league. I think it'll be very competitive and very intense night in and night out.
Could you just just talk a little about, you mentioned Coach Saban. I know he's been a help to you. Could you talk about Coach Saban and Coach Hudson both, and how they've helped you as you got adjusted, and how else they helped you as far as?
Well, you know, when I came in, I met with both of them through the process, and Coach Hudson was very kind in terms of giving his time and talking to me about his experiences as a player here, the relationship that he's had with the university for what's been 20, 30 years, being back as an administrator and now as a coach. I think his insights into the program were very helpful, and then obviously spent some time with Coach Saban through that process as well. And they've both been tremendous assets to myself and our staff over the course of the last 6 months as we get acclimated to Tuscaloosa and the university and everything that we've got to do.
Coach, are you a college football fan?
Yes.
If you had a vote, who would you vote as the #1 team in the country?
Alabama, without question.
Why is that?
Well, you know, I think the SEC is extremely competitive, you know, and I think, to be honest with you, I think when you look at what Urban Meyer's done at the University of Florida, I think they've won 16 straight games, is it? 16, 17 straight games. You can make the argument that they're the #1 team in the country. But I think when you look at what Coach Saban's been able to accomplish over the course of this year, you know, I'm a college football fan, and I like it just as much as anybody else, the comparison of who's the best or who's not the best. But the truth of the matter is that'll all be decided on the field, and it'll take care of itself here, just like we'll do in basketball. It's one game at a time, and you got to focus on today, and everything else will take care of itself. And I think that'll work itself out in the end.
Coach, you were with Florida when you guys won back-to-back titles. The SEC was very big nationally. It hasn't been that way the last couple of years. Do you feel like this conference is close to getting back to where it's been?
Well, it's my first year back in the league, so I think I'm probably not qualified to answer that question right now. I do know the history of the league. I do know that when you look at the number of players that are returning to just about every team from last year, the caliber of coaching, I think you have the makings of, in my opinion, one of the best leagues in the country.
Coach, Anthony Brock has a real knack for the long ball. Can you just talk about his talents a little bit and your expectations for him?
Yeah, Anthony Brock obviously is a guy that got some valuable experience last year in the second half of the year. I know made some big plays, made some big shots, and we're hoping that as a senior this year, he'll step up and provide leadership and some consistency for our basketball program.
And Mikael Lawrence was in and said he thought that Alabama was going to be underrated this year. Do you think your team's not yet getting maybe the attention or respect that it will end up getting?
That really has no bearing on anything that we do. I think the thing we have to worry about is ourselves. You know, we can control how hard we play. We can control our focus on getting better every single day and understanding what we have to do to put ourselves in position to be successful. So that's where our focus is, and you know, that's all we can worry about.
Anthony, a guy like John Wall hasn't played a game in college, but already he's being mentioned as possibly a player of the year nationally. Can you just talk about John Wall and Patrick Patterson, what those two guys mean to Kentucky?
I really couldn't tell you what they mean to Kentucky. I think you probably need to talk to John Calipari about that. But I think just the excitement that they bring to college basketball, to our league, and obviously I'm sure will have a tremendous impact on his program. I think it's an exciting time, you know, for the SEC, and you know, I'm confident that Coach Calipari will do a great job with those guys.